This weekend is probably one of the biggest weekends of the season, as of course LSU goes on the road to face the biggest rival of course this season for the Tigers, as we go on the road to Tuscaloosa to face the Alabama Crimson Tide. And of course, it could be a interesting matchup and an interesting game because of how these past few weeks and past couple days have been for LSU. Of course, firing Brian Kelly and also, of course, essentially also parting ways with our AD as well for LSU. So it's been a crazy few days, crazy few weeks for LSU. But going to try to talk about this game and other stuff really. If we potentially have a chance to at least maybe make it close, which I hope we would. But mostly just going to kind of do our usual and probably talk about other things that kind of pop in my head. So, as always, welcome everybody to the BrewCrew channel. If you guys haven't, though, here on the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for future upcoming videos here on the channel. And with everything out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the preview. Let's just go ahead and get right into it as usual. It's a big matchup. It's a big matchup. Either way, if it's both of us ranked, one of us not ranked, either way, both of us not ranked, it is a big matchup and a big rivalry game between Alabama and LSU. Of course, the series over the past few years, especially in my time of watching LSU football, hasn't really gone in the favor of LSU. Of course, only two big wins that I have watched in 2019, and of course the 2022 win, have mostly been the big wins that we have had against Alabama. And at the start of the season, when I was seeing how Alabama was, and of course the loss to Florida State, there was a good chance that we probably would have seen maybe us even have a chance to win. But with how this season has gone, and of course, no longer with now an interim head coach, and of course, this being on the road, and of course, Alabama apparently turning their season around and having a Heisman contending quarterback in Ty Simpson, who's definitely had a really great year, only one interception on the year, so I can definitely see him as a Heisman contender. Everybody has him as potentially the favorite to win it. It's going to be an interesting matchup. It's going to be an interesting game, especially for this one. We are for sure not favored to win this match. We are not favored to win this match. Alabama's favored to win by 10.5 points, so not even potentially getting it close, which I'm hoping. I'm hoping with everything that's gone down, with us losing the athletic director and of course losing a head coach who really was not a good head coach to start off with. Wasn't really a great fit. And now you go to Frank Wilson, our interim head coach, and he's already made big changes already. Like, one of the things with Brian Kelly was, like, he never allowed or never really had former football players, alumni football players, come to practice to see the team practice, talk to the players and all that, or even try to help out with coaching or whatever, you know. So that didn't happen under Brian Kelly. One of the first things Frank Wilson did was open those doors to former players coming in. Of course, saw a couple of videos like online of former LSU players talking to the players, and I feel like that is definitely could be a big boost for this game, because now of course it's like you have these former players sort of hyping you up, giving you these talks, and it's just like, excuse me, and it's just like, this is a big game coming up because the season's already over. No matter what, the season's already over, but a win like this can definitely mean something for the rest of the season, because again, like I've said before, the rest of the season, I don't want to say is completely in our hand to win out the rest of the year if no matter what happens after this game, because again, we have our final two home games against Arkansas and Western Kentucky, which those are two pretty winnable games. Don't know about the Arkansas game because now that it's been announced that that game will be at 11:45, but it will be at home, so we'll see how that game goes. I'm a little bit stuffy, so if you hear me kind of sniff around, I'm a little bit stuffy, so today. But then we of course have Western Kentucky, which should be an easy win and all that. But then mostly the tough one after Alabama is of course an 11th ranked you have an 11th ranked Oklahoma team that is also really good this year, and you have them on the road. But you do know that Oklahoma, they just got a big win against Tennessee. They have Alabama after us, so they're actually on a bye week. So they have Alabama next week. Then they have Missouri. Then they have us. So they have a pretty tough couple games before they face us. So we'll see how the rest of this is the game that I've kind of said, like, it just depends on how the rest of the season goes, and we'll just see how it goes when we face them. But focusing more on our game against Alabama, the only thing really is, like, the questions that I have is, can we finally see the Garrett Nussmeier that he is? And also the offensive line, can they try to block? So can they try to block? Because really the sort of only weakness that I have heard, that I have seen from Alabama, their only sort of weakness is sort of their defensive line, and their defensive line. If you go to defense, their highest player in sacks is Pierce. I cannot say his first name correctly. Who has 4 sacks? So really, that's sort of their weakness, and I believe their defense is sort of their weakness, because if you kind of look at how their season has gone over the past few games, they have been in close games the past few games. They won 27-24. They only allowed 20 points and then 22 points. They've only allowed most 20 points. The only points they have allowed was the game against Florida State. So their defense has definitely been good. But it's the defensive line that's sort of on our side. But there's the question with our offensive line, because we are riddled with injuries. There, of course, is the news of potentially, like, moving some people around, and like moving some people around on the offensive line, and just trying to figure out an idea and figure out something for it. So that's sort of the question for the offense, is just really the offensive line situation. Can Garrett Nussmeier, with this bye week, with this time off, can he try to be the player that he was sort of hyped up to be coming into this year? Coming into this year. And also the biggest question is this defense, because this defense is facing a pretty good offense, especially in a Heisman contending quarterback in Ty Simpson. I know the past few games haven't been the best for the defense, because of course we allowed 31 points against Vanderbilt, and then we allowed 49 points against A&M. The only worry really with this defense is, of course, we're potentially going to not have Whit Weeks for another week in a row, who was injured, I believe, in the South Carolina game or something, or was really injured in the Ole Miss game. But I think our defense can still play up to how they were sort of at the beginning of the year. It's just I hope they can. I really hope they can. It's just yeah. It's just it's just something that we're just gonna have to see. Anyway, and of course, like, Coach Frank Wilson has said, like, Garrett Nussmeier will start for the rest of the season. There is no plans of having Michael Van Buren come in or anything like that. Of course, we'll just have to see, and we'll just mostly just see how the rest of the season goes, is mostly it. So those are sort of the things I want to kind of see, and I kind of have questions for. Again, can Garrett Nussmeier have a good game, better games, especially with the help of this week off? Can the offense get something going, especially in the run game? Because also we've got rid of our offensive coordinator, so now we have a new play caller, so hopefully we can try to get something going in the run game, something going in the pass game, just something going overall in the offense. And also try to maybe have, like, whatever it is that we want to do in this offensive line hopefully work. And then, of course, a big question for the defense is, can we stop this sort of high-powered offense? The only thing really that could be on our side is really this offense hasn't really been big with, of course, one player, and that, of course, is the wide receiver. I think Ryan Williams is his name. What's the wide receiver's name? Something. Hold on. wide receiver Ryan Williams, he hasn't really had that best of a year that he did when he was from his freshman year. 495 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 33 receptions. So definitely, and like the highest receiver they have is also, it has 526 yards and 6 touchdowns. That is Jeremy Bernard. I think is how you say his first name. I'm sorry if I'm bad with names. I'm not good with names a lot. But then again, Ty Simpson's been an amazing year. 2,000 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, only 1 interception he's thrown. So I mean, I can see why this man is getting into the Heisman race. Heisman race this year, that's kind of maybe a whole thing that I want to maybe go over in a whole nother video, because this has been a sort of crazy Heisman race than what people thought we would see in the preseason for how the Heisman race would go. But yeah, that's just a whole story for probably another video that I might do. But yeah, again, those are sort of the questions that I want to kind of see us do. Do I see us winning this? No. Do I see us maybe like making it close? I probably hope to see us have it close, because it's a rivalry game. It's a game against Alabama. Sometimes you don't know what kind of game it's going to be when we play Alabama, especially depending on our season is. So, and also it is going to be on the road in Tuscaloosa, so that's the other thing. So we'll just see when we get to it this weekend. So yeah. So I think that's all I have for this video, for this preview video. Of course, just want to go ahead and say this, like, season's already over. I'm going to just enjoy the season while it lasts and all that. Enjoy the other games that are happening in college football. Of course, this has been an interesting and crazy year in college football, so we'll just continue to watch the season. We'll see how the rest of the season goes for the Tigers, and how the rest of the season goes for all the college football and playoffs and all that. So, still going to enjoy just watching football. Season's over for the Tigers, but still going to enjoy watching football either way. So anyway, just want to go ahead and just say that. Go ahead and end the video here. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this weekend. Do you think we have a chance? Do you think we actually might pull out a win? Anyway, let me know in the comments down below. And with all that being said, as always, like I said before in the beginning of the video, hit that subscribe button. If you guys actually did like this... Let me restart. My brain went somewhere. If you guys enjoyed this video, as always, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, also hit the notification bell for future upcoming videos here on the BrewCrew channel. And with all that out of the way, go ahead and end this video right here. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.